What's happening, everybody? Welcome back. This is Forgo, and we are back with some more Punishing Gray Raven. And today, I want to talk about what you should be doing whenever the game feels stale or boring to you. Because lately in the community, I've been hearing quite a few players say, look, I love the game, but it's getting a bit boring because we're just doing the same things every single day, especially now since we're using all of our serum for the Frozen Darkness event, right? We're pretty much farming for either memories or we're farming for regeneration 4s in here, depending on where you're at in the game. And yeah, it can get a bit stale if that's all you're doing. Plus, you just play Warzone a few times and then you play Phantom Pain Cage. And if you play these over and over and over, it can get boring, just like anything, right? Anything can get boring. I mean, so some suggestions to you guys that might help you as far as keeping the game interesting and fun for you is try new things. One thing that I definitely would recommend is, you should be playing Golden Vortex. If you've already finished it, why don't, try to go into Memory Rescue and try playing with some different characters in the Memory Rescue, whether you're going against AP Memory or Captain Memory. I mean, this is extremely challenging content. Maybe for some of you players it's not, but if you use a character that doesn't have a lot of BP, or say you try to do clears without cards or without memories, just, make it more interesting that way. Find ways to make it more difficult for you. I mean, if the game seems easy to you, find ways to make it more difficult, because if you do that, it will become more interesting. The next thing that I would suggest is play with different characters. Most players, they're going to play with the same old metas. I mean, we love Alpha. I love Alpha. I think she's amazing. She's my girl. But we do love playing with other characters because it's just fun, right? It's just fun playing with other characters. And it can get, honestly, it can get pretty stale just doing sword waves all the freaking time, right? It can get old. I mean, I love doing them, right? I love seeing, it's pretty awesome, right? I know. But you really want to play with these other characters. I mean, right now, I'm doing a lot of experimenting with Karenina. You can see the set that I have on her. I got like and this is another thing that you can do, experiment with memory sets. Throw some different memory sets on characters and see how they affect your character. See how it might affect your gameplay. Maybe you'll do better than what other players are suggesting with certain memory sets on certain characters. I gotta say, for Karenina, this set seems to be doing pretty damn amazing. And I'm actually using this girl in place of B Nanami in the Warzone because her QTE skill can gather the opponents together and she can do a lot of physical damage, which is really, really nice. And she's actually really great in Warzone with Alpha. But, I mean, even aside from that, I mean, a lot of you might have just gotten Kamoy. I just got Kamoy today, and I got to start leveling him up. And this guy, when he does his QTE skill, he can stun the bosses unless they got an armored shield around them, then he can't stun them. But still, that could be pretty effective because he can do it for 3 seconds. I mean, there's all these characters. Like, if you have any of them, experiment with it, play with them. I just made a video not too long ago about Lee, how I think Lee's freaking fantastic, and he is. He's fantastic. I've seen some insane scores in Warzone with this guy. Like Bianca here, a free character that you get from logging into the event. She's actually pretty cool, really fun character to play. I mean, her signature move is freaking sick, right? She pulls that arrow back, pew, and then you just see the life bar just melt whenever she hits the opponent. I mean, they're all awesome. I mean, even B Lucia, who you start off with, like, play with multiple characters. Enjoy the game. Don't play with the same characters all the time. Switch around your memory sets, make it more interesting for you. And the next thing that you do is, like I said earlier with the Memory Rescue, whenever that starts getting easy for you, and whenever you feel like things are getting a little bit easier for you, right? I just repeated myself. Go into the trial zone. Go into Tank War, go into the Nightmare story here. Try to do this. Go into Nightmare 2. Go to the Nightmare boss. I've already completed this, right? I'm going to be working on this. And you need 5,000 BP for this, right? You need a good amount of BP. For us newer players, us global players, that's a good amount of BP. And I'm going to show you guys a clear that I did today, actually, with it. I just did it a few tries. It wasn't a perfect run. I didn't really want to spend an hour or so on it, to be honest, because that's pretty busy today. But it still was a pretty good run. And we're going to use Karenina, Alpha, and B-Liv. But, that's how you make things interesting. You try to play these bosses and you try to challenge yourself to where it's more difficult. I mean, these bosses here, these Nightmare bosses, they are no joke, right? These guys can actually drain your life while you're in there. They got a life drain effect and it is vicious. I mean, honestly, Kamoy is actually really good here, but it just makes it more difficult because you're watching your life drain. You're like, oh my God, you feel the pressure, right? You feel the pressure. And I'm only going to use one 5,000 BP character. And my other two characters are going to be around 2,500 BP. Matter of fact, I'll just show you right now. So this is their builds. You know, Karenina is going to have 3200 BP, and Alpha is going to have 5100 BP, and then B-Liv is going to have 2700 BP. Well, almost 2800. And you look at the memory sets I showed you with Karenina, she's just using a regular weapon. With Alpha, of course, we're using the Darwin set with the patent memory sets, all maxed out, except for the resonance on the Darwin memory. So I still got a little ways to go for her. And then, for B-Liv here, I'm just rocking the Voltaire set here, a little basic damage here, and a little heal, which definitely helps, especially whenever you're fighting Camus here, who does have that life drain. Nothing really too special about their builds. So, I just wanted to throw all this out at you guys. To make the game interesting, you got to change up shop. You got to do things differently. Try different teams, use different characters, practice with different characters, put yourself in more challenging content to make it more interesting. I mean, that's what I do. I spend, 2, 3, 4 hours a day playing this game. That's right. I mean, I spend a lot of time playing this game. The only time I don't is when my hand is killing me, when I'm getting thumbinitis from playing it, right? But other than that, I try to play it as much as I can, and I still find it super, super fun because this game mode here doesn't cost any serum at all. You can play it over and over. You can go in the story mode and just play the story mode, but not in the battle, and just start over and over again and just keep doing it and doing it, Challenge yourself, make things more interesting. Or, I mean, you could even just try to challenge yourself in Warzone or Pancake, just try to get the highest scores possible. I mean, I know that can get a little redundant after a while, and I know that facing the same bosses over and over can get a little redundant, so just change up your bosses. I mean, there's all kinds of ways that you can make this game more interesting for yourself if you're willing to do it. If not, then you can always just stop, play another game, no big deal, come back into it, do your dailies, and if you want to do that, by all means, do that. Play the game however you want. It's all about having a good time. I'm just throwing out some suggestions to you to make the game more enjoyable for yourself. So now I'm just going to let you guys watch the run that I did earlier, and I do stream on Twitch at 9 p.m. GMT plus 7 time. The link will be in the description below, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Y'all take care and have a good one. See you in the next one. Bye, everyone.